In Pit Lane, brought to you by Online Invent, and with thanks to our Platinum Star Patreon supporters. Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of In Pit Lane, coming to you from the studios of RMI TV, student television here, and the heart of Grand Prix City, Melbourne. Hey, do you remember Motor Classic? Of course you do. Everybody loved Motor Classic. It was a highlight of the Australian motoring scene every year, particularly here in Melbourne. Unfortunately, Motor Classic is no more, but later on in the program, stay tuned because we've got some exciting news. Some of the people behind Motor Classic have got together to come up with a replacement that is going to be potentially bigger and even better. We'll be finding out more about that in just a moment. Also, speaking of classic cars and bikes, this weekend up at Winton Motor Raceway is the annual Austin 7 Historic Winton. And joining us a little bit later on in the program, we'll have a couple of the young competitors who are going to be racing there this weekend in Abby and Jacob Wingett. But right now, alongside of me is somebody who'll be up at Winton as well on the weekend. Here's Craig Doc Latigo. Doc, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Brett. Welcome. Hello, everyone out there. It's going to be a huge show now. We're going to squeeze it all in. So straight back to you, Brett.
We certainly have. There's lots been happening around the world of motorsport. Let's find out just a little bit of it. This is the In Pit Lane Motorsport News. Well, more drama at Erebus after a senior journalist accused team boss Barry Ryan of bullying after the supercar race at Wannaroo on Sunday. Speed Cafe editor Andrew Van Leeuwen claimed that he was invited into the team's post-race huddle where he was publicly abused and humiliated by Ryan. Speaking on the podcast, full credit to the noise, Van Leeuwen said that he just attacked me in front of a group of people and it was really awkward. I can handle it, but it was real awkward and it was really unnecessary. Van Leeuwen pointed out that for somebody who's fighting off the perception of being a bit of a bully at the moment, I'm just not sure a classic schoolyard bullying tactic like that was the right way to go. As we record tonight's show, there's been no statement from the team about the incident.
Well, there seems to be a bit in that. A big weekend of drag racing in Sydney as the 23-24 season hits its penultimate round before the big Winter Nationals in Queensland. And as his supercar team were battling it out across the Nullarbor, Premier Racing team owner Peter Zibiris was winning not one, but two Top Fuel Championship rounds at Sydney Dragway. Zibiris took out Saturday's Top Fuel final with a win over Australian record holder Damien Harris. This setup is a big day of racing on Sunday, although the combination of cold weather and a big crash on Pro Mod ended the day early. So we'll just go to that package and have a great look at it.
The Chicago shootout style of racing has been a huge improvement for fans over the old elimination format. This means that there were 3 finals for the big top fuels to keep the fans entertained. In the C final, it was a fight between the Phils, and it was Phil Reed taking out the win after Phil Lamartina threw away a 389 second pass with his second red light of the weekend. In the B final, it was an all Rapasada Autosport fight as Wayne Newby and Shane Olive lined up for the start. Newby took the win with a 3.75 second pass, setting a new Sydney Dragway Top Fuel ET record. The A final was a repeat of Saturday's race, and it was Zibiris winning on a hole shot with a 3.79 with a 5 to take his second straight win over Damien Harris. In the Top Door Slammer final, Russell Taylor lined up against Daniel Gregorini, with Taylor crossing the centre line, handing the win to his fellow Western Australian. Well, the fact that Max Verstappen won last weekend's Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola isn't the main story. The main story is how close he came to losing it. After his surprise win in the Miami Grand Prix, Lando Norris showed that McLaren's return to form is no flash in the pan. Norris failed by only 0.07 of a second to chase down Verstappen in a thrilling end to the Grand Prix. Norris said after the race that he just needed one more lap and he thinks he would have passed the Red Bull driver for the lead. It was a great weekend for McLaren, with Australia's Oscar Piastri setting the second fastest time in qualifying, only to be penalised 3 grid spots for an earlier incident with Kevin Magnussen. The improved pace of McLaren will put them in a very good position for this weekend's Monaco Grand Prix, a circuit where they were already expected to perform well.
This weekend is also the biggest race weekend of the year in the USA, with the NASCAR World 600 and the Classic Indianapolis 500. NASCAR star Kyle Larson will contest both races, starting from 5th in the Brickyard. In case you're wondering, that's racing in one day for over 1,770 kilometres in 2 states, almost 1,000 kilometres apart. But at Indy, Larson will be chasing down an all-Penske front row and a Trans-Tasman 1-2.
16 turns, 16 perfection in terms of hitting your marks. McLaughlin's never even qualified in the top 10 here. What about now? Scott McLaughlin wins the pole for the Indy 500.
Former supercar champion Scott McLaughlin will start from pole for this weekend's running of the biggest race on the US calendar, the Indianapolis 500. After setting the pace in qualifying, McLaughlin set a new pole day record average to edge out teammate Will Power for an Antipodean 1-2. It was a front row lockout for Penske, with last year's winner Joseph Newgarden starting third. Chevy-powered cars dominated, locking out the first 8 places. NASCAR star Kyle Larson impressed in his first IndyCar start and will come out of position number 5 for the race, which begins Monday morning Australian time. 3 times NHRA Top Fuel World Champion Antron Brown picked up his 75th career win on Sunday at Route 66 Raceway, powering past Shord Langdon in the final round of the 24th annual Route 66 NHRA Nationals. In funny car, defending champion Matt Hagan became the first 2-time winner in the category this season, taking down veteran John Force in a thrilling final with a 3.99 second run at 520.31 kilometres an hour. Dallas Glenn remained perfect in his pro stock career at Route 66 Raceway, claiming his second straight victory at the track with a win over Aaron Stanfield. And pro stock motorcycles Gage Herrera raced to his 8th straight race win to tie Dave Schultz for the most consecutive wins in class history. Herrera went 6-7-1 with a 3 to beat Chase Van Sant to keep his unbeaten run intact. Leading a NASCAR All-Star race a record 199 of 200 laps, pole winner Joey Logano kept Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson at bay on Sunday night to win the 40th running of the event and collect the $1 million top prize. Running the entire race on a softer option tyre, Logano beat Hamlin to the finish line by just over 0.06 of a second, with Chris Boucher passing Larson for 3rd place on the penultimate lap. The All-Star race victory was the 2nd for Logano and the 5th for Team Penske in an incredible day for the captain after their Indy 500 front row lockout. Want to join the In-Pit Lane crew for a chat about all things motorsport? Then join us live online every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. for Full Course Yellow. We talk all things Formula 1, supercars, Le Mans, MotoGP, drag racing, speedway and much, much more. So join us every week for Full Course Yellow. That's Wednesday nights at 8:30 on the In-Pit Lane YouTube channel and Facebook page. And you're watching In Pit Lane. Coming up a little bit later on the program, we're going to have some music from Amina. We're also going to be joined in just a moment by our special guests, Abby and Jacob Wingett. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Get the phone ringing for your business with website development and SEO services from Online Invent. Visit onlineinvent.com.au.
Bring in the replacement killers.
The crew. The crew are all coming in
Bring in the
at the moment,
killers.
getting into position. Once again, you must say a huge thank you to our sponsor in Online Invent. They've just done a wonderful job in keeping us on air for this particular season. We certainly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, and we really do appreciate Roy and his team out there at Online Invent, who basically have kept the show running. He got us back on air and has kept us running. This is, in fact, the penultimate episode of the program until next week. Next week is the last program, and then we're hoping to come back in September, but more about that a little bit later.
A little bit jam-packed next week too, so make sure you tune in.
We're jam-packed every week, and we're certainly jam-packed this week. We've got... at the moment, we're just
the desk is full.
The desk is full tonight. Yes, we've got a full house at the desk tonight.
We could just go and have a Palmer and a beverage if we want.
Well, I'm not sure about the Palmer, but the beverage is. By the way, it is a Palmer for those people watching in South Australia and other parts of.
Really, what do they call it?
They call it a Palmie.
A Palmie?
Yes.
Oh, so.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Go have a pot and a Palmie.
Now I know where you're going there with that one.
Yeah.
Just, I think what a chicken schnitzel is, but anyway.
Well, yes, hadn't thought of that. But anyway, no, it is a Palmer, and that's what we would be having after we've had our potato cakes.
Not your scallops.
Thank you very much. They don't look like they're potato cakes, all right? Thank you very much.
What do they call scallops if the scallops are called potato cakes somewhere else?
I don't know. Probably Gordon or something.
Gordon?
Gordon. Yes,
that's gin.
Yes, Gordon. Okay.
We're getting way off topic.
Okay, let's find out. Obviously, a big part of the program every week has been our live music, and tonight we're being joined by our musical guest, and that is Amina. Amina comes to us all the way originally from Belgium. We might find out a bit more about that in a little bit.
I thought we were going to play Guess the Accent, but that's too late now.
Too late now, but she can be found at Facebook at Amina Musician. She's also on Amina Music on Instagram, and also the song she's about to play for us, Traveller, is available on all the platforms: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and her new single that she'll be playing for us a little bit later on in the program, Gone Girl, is coming soon. But right now, this is Amina with Traveller.
Morning tea, sound by the sea, cozy in the shade by the paperback tree. A breeze from my hair, relax in my own Chevy chair. I look up on the sky, all the birds flying around. Once in a while, they're hitting back the ground. At night they are the stars, they always catch my eye. They're starting a new day by the colorful sunrise. But don't you worry, Mom, 'cause I know you do. I think about you often and I miss you too. But I have to go where my heart wants to be, where the road is undiscovered and I can be free. Driving on the road, on the way to something new, not knowing where to sleep, guess my car should do. Being with some others, or just on my own, I already made my comfort zone. Driving for hours on the red dirt road, stopping at a roadhouse, get some food and petrol. Late night sleep by the light of the campfire, wake up early morning, getting ready with the sun down. Imagine how life would be, not a worry in the world, living in a daydream. Just imagine how life would be, sitting at your favorite place, play this on repeat. But don't you worry, Mom, 'cause I know you do. I think about you often and I miss you too. But I have to go where my heart wants to be. The road is undiscovered and I can be me. Call me a traveler, call me a traveler, call me a traveler. I'm a traveler. But don't you worry, Mom, 'cause I know you do. I think about you often and I miss you too. But I have to go where my heart wants to be, where the road is undiscovered and I can be free. Call me a traveler, call me a traveler, call me a traveler. I'm a traveler. But don't you worry, Mom, 'cause I know you do. I think about you often and I miss you too. But I have to go where my heart wants to be, where where the road is undiscovered and I can be me.
What do you want one?
And that was Amina and Traveller. Thanks, guys, for that. Amina, and so if you've forgotten your partner there with the Nick, is it? Nick, there we are. Nick, thank you very much. Amina will be joining us a little bit later on the program to play her new song, which is Gone Girl. Now you mentioned when we got in contact that you were from Belgium. What part of Belgium are you from?
I'm from Antwerp, so from the Flemish-speaking part, yeah.
There you are. Well, I don't know much about Belgium apart from Spa-Francorchamps. That's all I know. It's all I know about Belgium. There, but yeah. So how long have you been in Australia?
So the first time I came here, and that is what a song is about, is in January 2018. I was traveling around the country, and yeah, that inspired the song as well. So I arrived here January 2018. I was here for a year, and then I went to New Zealand to go and travel around, and then I met my partner Nick, who is from New Zealand.
Never mind.
Nick, I'll fix him up under the desk for you as well, mate.
No,
I'll look after you.
I'm sure Nick is very happy that Scott McLaughlin is on pole for the
Anyway, I'll sort him out. I mean, why is your English so good? Did you learn it back in school when you were over there in Belgium?
So when you're in your first year of high school, so you're 12, you get English, and our whole we grew up listening to music from English-speaking music. We've got movies, series, social media. Everything is influenced by the English language. So besides learning that in school, you also just learn it by,
Well, you've taken it to it very well. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Very creative with it.
It's the interesting thing. I mean, as we've said before, I mean, overseas, we Australians, we can't even speak one language, let alone. And then you go overseas and you meet people and say, oh yes, I speak French, and English, a little bit of Italian, yes, some German as well. My Greek is not very good.
Don't know what you're talking about, mate. And our language is fine, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, English is my second language, but I don't have my first. Okay, so Amina will be joining us a little bit later on the program. So thanks, Amina.
And Nick for that. Thank you, Nick.
She's done him already.
Oh,
it's over. That's it.
Poor guy. That's all right.
She's used him. She's got the backing and she's got the harmonies. And that's it. He's got
for sale. One slightly used guitar. Give Amina a call on Instagram or something like that. Contact Amina on Instagram. For sale one.
Nick's just wandering out into Swanston Street to bus to see if he can get the fare home. Okay, thanks guys. They'll join us a little bit.
Thanks for playing along too.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane. We're coming up this weekend. In fact, starting tomorrow out at Winton Motor Raceway is the annual Winton Historic. This is probably one of the oldest historic race meetings in Australia, run by the Austin 7 Car Club. The interesting thing about this meeting, of course, and one of the reasons we love it so much, is they sort of tend to concentrate on a lot of the older cars, but also bikes as well. You're getting us an old-fashioned 2+4 meeting, so whatever you want, whether you're into bikes or cars or sidecars for that matter, you're going to get the lot this weekend. Two of the young competitors who are going to be in action this weekend are joining us on the program now. They are Jacob and Abby Wingett. Guys, welcome to In Pit Lane.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Now, Jacob, we've had Abby on before, but I don't think we've had you on the set before.
First time here.
Let's talk about what are you driving this weekend?
I'm driving a Formula Ford. It's called a March 729. So they're quite a unique car. Mine's a Formula 3 chassis with Formula Ford running gear, so it's a bit stiffer than the usual Formula Ford. Just standard 1600 Kent, but great car, very unique. There's only 7 to be believed to be around.
I think when Abby came on, I found out about the car. I think sort of Abby came up and said, we've got a March Formula. I didn't even know at the time there was a March Formula.
They're very
Formula
unique.
Ford.
The Wingett family, just rare cars, full stop. Let's just try them out, isn't it?
And the thing is, the moment you see it, you know it's a March. It just that's a March. You just know. So obviously, being a rare car, what are you running in on the weekend in terms of are you racing? Are you in regularity? What are you running?
Just regularity this time. I did run my first race event in the Formula Ford at Malala a couple of weekends ago. It was a great
It's
event.
a great meeting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Very country style and low key, but great fun.
They've been busy little bees. They have been very little busy little bees. We'll talk in a minute.
And listen, and Abby, you'll be behind the wheel of the Elephant again, will you?
Yes, the Elephant Formula Junior in LB, so that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it as well. They're streaming it on Bloodline TV, so that will be good for the first time ever.
So with that, with you running the Elephant, I mean the Formula Junior, how old is that car? When was that car? Obviously before you were born.
Well and truly before I was born. It was built in '62, so...
So it's actually 1 year. It's actually
your club was born before you too, anyway.
Well, I wish it was. It was actually.
No, but anyway, back to the
Elephant. 1 year. I've got 1 year on it, but nonetheless, the fact is, I mean, this is one of Bill Hemmings' part of his collection of classic elephants. It must mean a lot to you that the fact that he's trusting you with a car that is so incredibly rare and incredibly old. Because these things, I mean, something goes wrong. I mean, you can't just go down the corner store and go down to Super Cheap Auto and pick up a body panel or a new upright or something like that.
Yeah, you're right, for sure. Like, just so lucky for the opportunity to let me drive it, let alone in like proper race settings. So it's a very great opportunity. The last couple of runs I've done, I've felt really won with the car and feeling more confident. I actually won one of my first races in Malala with the car, so I was pretty excited.
You also got to drive a car at the Grand Prix. Tell us a little bit about that as well too.
Yeah, so I drove the same car at the Grand Prix. So that's the second year I've done it at the Grand Prix, and it's just lovely to show all the historics and where we all started from now to what we're running now in Formula One. So it was pretty exciting.
So what are you going to do for an upgrade then? It's pretty hard to beat what you've been driving lately. Yeah, what's your wish list at the moment then?
There's some exciting things happening. I'm actually going to be running a Formula Ford very shortly, thanks to Peter Williams.
In the championship?
Yeah, hopefully in the championship. So we're just finishing it off. It's a Bolwin Formula Ford. It's an FA car. So that's going to be the next step up for me in Formula Ford. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I've got to really quickly throw in this. Happy birthday for Saturday as well, though, too. Yeah, we'll catch up with you when we're up at there at Winton. We won't give away your age, but you're spring chicken still.
You can give away his age. I've got socks that are older than him. Come on.
He has. I've smelt them before. What have you been driving? A bit of XL as well, too, I think, as well, too,
a couple
Jacob?
of XLs here and there, doing state series. Me and Abby both built our cars ourselves. With the help of a fair few lucky people, like a person called Dave Elliott, and of course our father, who great influence on us, massive help. But yeah, we built those cars ourselves and decided to run them through this year. Yeah.
And Nigel Tate for letting us use his factory. We turned it into a bit of a workshop.
An XL workshop.
So you've taken over the place.
I just love the fact that it just drops these, like, hey, I'm driving Bill Hemmings' car. Oh, yeah, Nigel Tate let us use it. And by the way, if you don't know who Nigel Tate is, I mean, this is a very famous name in the world of motor racing in Australia. He has a huge relationship with the days of Frank Matic and the Repcos. And
isn't it fantastic how much that these guys are giving back, though, to the younger generation, and just like, just go out there in the workshop, play with my toys, just do what you want, and just, try not to dink when you come back, but, have some fun. So isn't it great?
I think that we mentioned last time, I mean, that there are, you're not unique now. There are more and more young people starting to get into historic racing. So, Jacob, we asked Abby last time she was on, but what about you? What's the attraction for you of historic racing?
Historic racing, it's just a very family-based kind of sport versus you do in the States using the XL is very competitive. In the historics, if something breaks, everyone's there to help you. Everyone's there to give you pointers. If you don't know something, they'll just openly chat to you. It's an amazing community. And we're part of the VHRR, which give us a lot of stuff as juniors, so free entries. They're just
really good support package, isn't it? As a member of it, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a great way to get into racing. It's cheaper than doing some more competitive stuff. You learn cars, because you're always fixing them since they're old cars. But yeah, it's a great variety.
Well, that teaches you the skills to build your own XLs, doesn't it, Jacob?
Exactly.
And
it's also a different sort of driving, isn't it? I mean, sort of, like with the cars nowadays, if you're in something like a Formula 4 or something like that, you've got the wings and slicks and all that downforce. But you're actually in cars that, they slide around. They might be old, but they still go bloody fast. And you've got to control them, haven't you?
Yeah, a lot of mechanical grip and Yeah, a lot of driving styles.
Now, Abby, I think you've been lending your car out as well too, haven't you? Have you lent your XL out to one of your girlfriends?
Actually a guy that one of Jacob's best friends, Trent, so we're just starting him off in a little XL, trying to give back from where I started. So putting a young junior into an XL. So his first race meeting will be at Historic Winton, run by the VHR. So he's very excited. So he's been helping tinker on it and get it ready for that. So
looking forward to that too.
Well, we're looking forward to the weekend. As I said before, if you haven't been up to the Winton Historic, and actually the good news is that at the moment the forecast is that it's really going to be quite fine, and so you'll get some amazing photographs, you'll get some amazing cars and bikes. Stay with us for the moment, guys, because we're going to take a break now on In Pit Lane, but when we come back, we're going to take you out to learn more about a brand new motoring event for Melbourne, and we'll be joined by our special musical guest tonight, Amina. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Get the phone ringing for your business with website development and SEO services from Online Invent. Visit onlineinvent.com.au.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Well, I don't know if you went to Motor Classica. Let's ask our guests tonight. I mean, Jacob and Abby, did you ever go to Motor Classica at the exhibition buildings?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
Oh, they missed out, didn't they?
Oh, you missed out because it was an absolutely spectacular event, which unfortunately is no longer happening. But what is happening is coming up in November this year. A lot of the people behind Motor Classica have come up with a brand new event. And last week it was launched at the Fox Museum in Melbourne. So let's have a look at Motors and Masterpieces. It would be hard to think of a more appropriate venue for the launch of a major new motoring event on the local calendar than at the incredible collection of Lindsay Fox in the heart of Melbourne. Classic car enthusiasts gathered to hear news of a brand new event to be held in November this year at the Melbourne Showgrounds. Called Motors and Masterpieces, the new event has been designed to replace the popular Motor Classica, an event held in great regard over many years. Launch MC, Melbourne radio host and classic car enthusiast Peter Grubby Stubbs spoke about his memories of Motor Classica and how the new Showgrounds event aims to recapture that atmosphere.
When I first joined 3AW, one of my first so-called tasks as I was broadcasting on weekends was to actually do an outside broadcast for Motor Classica, and it was an event that I look forward to every single year. It was just magnificent. The characters, the cars, it was just an event to die for. We loved it.
Many of the people involved in Motor Classica have returned to create the new event, including Chief Curator Mark Jansen.
Historically, Motor Classica ran with marque anniversaries, so you might celebrate 60 years of Lamborghini. Fine, that's good, but to try and broaden the event, I guess we're going to run Motors and Masterpieces around themes. So, for example, the theme for the British cars is going to be Swinging London. The Italian cars is going to be La Dolce Vita. The American cars is going to be California Dreaming. The Japanese cars is going to be Tokyo Lights. The Australian cars is going to be the Land Down Under. So what we're going to do is basically set up an area of display. So for example, with Swinging London, we'll have a couple of red phone boxes. We'll have bobbies running around. You might even have an English pub. So it just gives the whole event more of a, I guess, a festival look and feel. The cars and the motorbikes, everything will be displayed in together. And yeah, I think it will be fabulous and should work really well.
Although the event will be based mainly around road-going classic machines, Australia's rich motorsport tradition will not be forgotten.
We will have a class called Checkered Flag for race cars, and that's an important part of the event as well. There'll also be some veteran cars. We're also early days, but looking to having some discussions around having some dynamic things happening outside where we may be able to offer rides in veteran cars and things like that. So that's all evolving as you know, we get organised going forward. So I think the answer is yes. We're really keen to work with all sort of different facets of the industry and the hobby and broaden the appeal of the event.
The inaugural Motors and Masterpieces will begin at the Melbourne Showgrounds on November 22nd. We'll have more news about the event as it's announced in our second series of In Pit Lane starting in September and on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel and Facebook pages. And very nice the nibbles were too. Now, playing us out tonight is Amina, and you can find Amina on Facebook. She's on Instagram, YouTube. Her single Traveller is out now on all of those platforms, but she has a new single coming out called Gone Girl, and it's coming soon, but you're about to hear it right now. So until we see you next week for the final edition of In Pit Lane for this season, here now is Amina with Gone Girl. Good.
Your breath when the phone call ends. No more I'm sorry. Every chance you get to show regret. Put a phone silent, cause the girl is gone. She's a gone girl, but no more here. She's out to the sun, girl. Ain't no time with a busy mind on her arm, girl. No, she ain't your girl. She's a gone girl. Oh, she's a gone girl. When the party's over, when the party's over, the lights gone out and the music died. Try again tomorrow when you're in the car, clearing out your mind. Are we getting older? Losing track of time, feels like years fly by. But her phone is silent and the girl is gone. She's a gone girl, but no more here. She's out to the sun, girl. Ain't no time with a busy mind on the run, girl. No, she ain't your girl anymore. She's a gone girl, but no more here. She's out to the sun, girl. Ain't no time with a busy mind on the run, girl. No, she ain't your girl anymore. She's a gone girl. Oh, she's a gone girl. Oh, she's a gone girl. Oh, she's a gone girl.